Yo, guys, welcome back to Around the Leagues. If you guys haven't noticed, we got a little bit more light today, and we are back with that same kind of energy. My name's Kenan. This is Luke. This is Around the Leagues. What's going on, Luke? Talk to me.
What's good? Busy week. Action's back. We got football now, Monday through Sunday, basically.
Yeah, buddy.
NBA offseason's kicking off. We got NBA draft is, I think, 6 days away from when we're recording this.
Yep.
We've got the Masters are this weekend. I know that we got some golf folk in here. I don't mind golf. I'll watch probably the last day if it's close and there's no football on. But I've got a buzzing in my ear. Hang on.
This is live, folks. We did not plan this. Everything good. I cannot hear a word you're saying. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the number one podcast for Cincinnati Bearcat fans. We've been talking about it off the air quite a bit. Cincinnati, that team is for real. All right? We are big Cincinnati fans. Notre Dame, get the hell out of here. I've got no respect for the Notre Dame football team playing Cupcake Boston College. Nah, go play Houston. Go play Central Florida. Bearcats, baby. Natty time. Let's go.
You're not wrong. Obviously Notre Dame's not going to get bumped out until they lose, but Cincinnati's one of,
Rigged.
probably has the top 5 defense in the nation, top 3 secondary in the nation. Their offense is looking fun. They've got, I can't think of the name of the receiver, but Desmond Ridder at quarterback, Heisman candidate. Them and BYU both have a legitimate shot to sneak into the college football playoff if any of those top 3 teams slip up, and Notre Dame. But we'll see with everything going on right now. The SEC basically canceled their entire week. If they end up shutting things down for a few weeks and they don't get all their games in, or if teams kind of lose that momentum they've got rolling, if Ohio State can't qualify because they don't have enough games under their belt now because they're losing their game against Maryland this week.
Oh, yeah, Maryland, yeah.
That's going to open the door. Indiana's probably going to get in there as the Big Ten representative because they're going to have no.
Okay.
But no, I think Cincinnati has a legit chance. I don't know if they can beat one of the top 3 that'll be ahead of them because they're not going to get in as the 1 or the 2 seed. That's just a given. They'll probably get in as the 4 if they do get in. If they play, they played Ohio State just last year and they got the shit kicked out of them. And
New year, baby.
That's just
2020 different.
You're going to have better athletes, right? Especially in a year like this when you need those better athletes on your team. When you don't have the time to prepare, you don't have that full camp, the off season. Yeah, Ohio State, Clemson before the Notre Dame game, and Alabama, they just roll right through everybody, and that's what Cincinnati is doing to their conference opponents right now. If they meet a bigger school, like say they play Ohio State in the first round, I don't think it's going to be an easy matchup for them. Obviously, could they win? Yeah, that's how college sports roll. Anybody can pull off a win in a given week, but it's not necessarily in their favor. And I think that's why we never see those group of 5 schools get in. But
now let's say this. We said this a couple weeks on the podcast. Go check me if you think I'm wrong. If any team goes undefeated, they should have a chance to win the national championship. It doesn't matter if you're 12-0, 8-0. It doesn't matter. If you go undefeated, you should have a chance to play for the Natty. Okay. We talked about maybe doing a playoff expansion a few weeks ago. But, UCF, they got a natty light here a couple years ago because they went undefeated, but nobody gave them a real shot. Cincinnati, it would be a shame if they did not get into playoffs this year. That team is for real. That team is legitimate. Their defense is top notch. Okay?
Yeah.
These names that they're playing, they may not be the Ole Misses. They may not be the Auburns or insert trash big name school here. Okay, their defense is good.
I know They play in the American Conference, and they've got some good schools. Memphis is always up there. Houston's respectable. They're just kind of on and off. I'm trying to think. SMU. I mean, SMU and Memphis are two of the best offenses in college football, and Cincinnati just shuts them down. Don't even give them a chance. Foot on the throat early on, pull away. The game's over by halftime. I mean, them being numbers. I think Cincinnati is 7, BYU is 8 right now, and I can't argue with that. I mean, it'd be nice if they were 5 and 6, but I mean, it's hard to put them over a team like Florida right now. I mean, Florida's on fire. They had the higher expectations. They do have a loss, but it's just one of those things where how much can you credit a win over teams that not inside the top 25 or teams without the 5-star athletes all over the field. So I understand why they're not in right now, but if BYU and Cincinnati both pull off undefeated seasons in their conferences, or I guess BYU's not in a conference, but with their schedule, you have to give them a shot. Let them play each other. The winner gets the 4 spot. Find some way to make it creative, but
I like it.
I mean, yeah, it's been a mess. College football does not look promising to end this season because the SEC just canceled about every single game this week. LSU, Alabama off the table. I believe Mississippi State's off the table. Auburn's off the table. Big Ten, Ohio State's game against Maryland's canceled. Big Ten, Ohio State's got a big one next week with Indiana. I don't think Indiana has a chance going into that one, but Indiana right now is top 10. They blew out Michigan last week. Beat Penn State questionably in week 1. Beat Rutgers pretty handily in week 2. So Indiana's another team, really good defense. Their offense is picking it up as they go. But, I mean, Ohio State's just a better team. We've seen that year in and year out.
Yeah.
Unless Indiana catches Ohio State on a bad week where they're trying to get – they don't have a week to prepare, that maybe their facility can get shut down. We don't know how that's going to pan out. But, yeah, I think Ohio State still is the easy favorite in the Big Ten, especially in that division. But – yeah, Pac-12 was a joke. Nobody from that's going to make it. Nobody in the Big 12 is going to get in. Just have some fun with it.
Now, you got a real interesting scenario here in the Big Ten. Unlikely, yes, but it'd be interesting. So let's say next weekend Ohio State beats Indiana. But let's say Indiana keeps it respectful within 2 touchdowns. Okay, let's say that. And then let's say end of the year, the game, I don't know where it's being played at this year, but let's just say hypothetically in a parallel universe, Michigan beats Ohio State. Okay, let's just theoretically say that.
It's hard hypothetical to figure out, but yeah, let's roll with it.
Okay, so I mean it's a triangle here. You have Ohio State beating Indiana beating Michigan, and Michigan beating Ohio State. Who do you give it to?
They'd have to play the Big Ten championship, but I believe Ohio State gets the Big Ten championship over Indiana because they beat them head-to-head. Therefore, Indiana's out of it, and then whoever plays Ohio State would have a chance to take Big Ten spot in the playoff if they are guaranteed one, but it looks pretty likely that it's going to happen. I would assume it comes down to Wisconsin in the West, but Wisconsin, we don't know how many games they're going to play. Northwestern could get it if they beat Northwestern, or if they beat Wisconsin next week. And Northwestern's number 23 in the nation for God knows why. I mean, they're probably the most boring team in college football, and they're barely beat. I mean, they beat Iowa by a point, put them in the top 25. What?
Now, something to keep also in mind here, with all the different COVID outbreaks going on, and now the new regulations that are for instance, we're from Indiana. We've got new regulations that are being placed here. That might affect how some teams are able to practice. It'll be certainly if there's limited fans in the stadiums now, that number is going to go down even more. If let's say, if a half dozen players, get the virus within next couple weeks, I think we have to prepare for the possibility that they just shut down the college football season. We're starting to get into that, I don't want to say danger zone, but we're starting to see quite a few COVID positive cases throughout the country. And critics will point to these games, these outings, these events.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, we talked about it, or I guess we haven't talked about it yet. Notre Dame and Clemson last week. Notre Dame goes out. They beat Clemson double overtime. Students, understandably so, they're excited. They just beat the number 1 team in the nation. They're the number 4 team, so it does look kind of bad.
Well, yeah, that's like they stormed the field, and like it just you don't see Duke storming the court when they knock off fucking Michigan State in basketball. Maybe North Carolina because it's a big time rivalry, but we're not going to consider Notre Dame and Clemson a big football rivalry. They played like 9 times or some bullshit.
Yep.
You don't see it like Alabama's not going to storm the field when they beat LSU.
Yeah.
If you want to call yourself a top tier program in college football and say that you deserve a chance every single year, you're an independent, you don't need a conference, and give yourself all this confidence, and then you go out there and you beat a team in overtime at home without
double overtime,
without half their starting defense, without their number 1 quarterback, and you storm the fucking field during a pandemic. Hey, Notre Dame, what the fuck are you doing? This is why I have no respect for that school, for the football program. They bitch when they don't get the respect, and then when they finally do get a win, they storm the field like they're you're not Appalachian State beating Michigan. You're not Northern Iowa beating Iowa State like a decade ago. You're Notre Dame. You're number 4 in the nation at home.
And
you were expected to win that game.
Now keep in mind, like years ago, whenever Auburn beat Alabama on the kick 6, both teams were ranked. Alabama I think was number 1 at the time, but that game ended on a walk-off missed field
kick 6.
goal.
That goes back to my point with Duke. Like, that's a rivalry. That's a big-time rivalry. That you're going to storm that field no matter what if you win. I mean, we saw it.
I don't know about that, but the fact that it ends on that play, I see that, okay?
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that it ends on a regular play in overtime, I'm not.
Yeah, it's just very weird. But, yeah, so, like, it pisses me off. And then the worst part is that game goes into double overtime, and we all get screwed out of Dave Chappelle on Saturday Night Live. Must-see TV, and then we all get kind of gypped and have to stay up till 3 o'clock in the goddamn morning to watch it. But, yeah, I think it sucks. I think Clemson still is rightfully in the playoff picture. They'll get their guys back. But one thing I did that just popped into my head, which I don't know if you might have saw this on Twitter yesterday, but there's the thing of like pick your favorite draft prospects in the NFL or in the upcoming draft at each position. And one guy that I put my favorite running back in this class is Journey Brown out of Penn State. And I'd say maybe 10 minutes after I tweeted that, he retired from football. He went in for his COVID testing because I think he's been hurt all season, hasn't played. He goes in for his test. They find a heart issue, like the muscles of his heart, I guess it has like an enlarging issue. He can't play football anymore. And within the span of 10 minutes, he went from being my favorite player in the draft to his career's over. He's probably never going to play again. And if he does, it's going to be at least a few years from now anyway before he can even get any sort of clearance. So sucks for him. We saw that earlier. I think last year something had happened with a player, a tight end out of Oklahoma, Grant Calcaterra, I believe is his name. He opted out right before the end of the season. He said he was going to the draft, and about a month later he retired. But now he's back. He's going back to Oklahoma this year to play, and then he's expected to go back into the draft, I believe, in 2022 is when he's expected to be up again. So that's what sucks about football and sports in general is that injuries and medical stuff can really just derail an entire career. So,
and what I was going to say is in relation to the Notre Dame thing, just to bring it back to that real quick, with the up there at South Bend, they had an outbreak going on campus, right? Even Coach Kelly was like, hey, get off the field. We don't need anybody testing positive. You see players out there on the field celebrating as all these people just come down onto the field.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you got to think with your fucking heads here, guys. If you want the season to continue, if you guys all complain, give us a chance to play. We signed we want to play. Okay, that's fine. You got this privilege, but you have a responsibility with it.
Right. If your program gets shut down, that's on you, or at least partially on the students and the athletes.
If you watch Kelly sprints right for the tunnel. Meanwhile, there's players out there with their arms in the air as fans are coming around them and shit. And it's like, students are testing positive on that campus at alarming rates, okay? If like 2 people get tested positive on that team, they're not playing the next game. Okay?
Yeah. Well, and then
a little smarter here.
Guys. Another thing that I need an answer to. Trevor Lawrence was out of that game because he tested positive.
And then he's on the sideline.
He's on the sideline of the game. He traveled with the team on the team plane or the bus or whatever the hell they used, is on the sideline, on the field. Yeah. Listen, if he can't play, he can't beat it. Yeah. What's the difference of him being on the sideline with the mask versus him throwing the football?
Yeah.
And holy shit. I don't know if that was the AC call, the team's call, or what, but somebody along the way fucked that up big time.
I mean, someone dropped the ball on that. That is a god awful. Excuse my language there, but I mean, what's the difference between having the guy wearing a mask and just throwing him on the field? I mean,
it doesn't make any sense. That's why you like college football, because it's an absolute shit show every week.
Yeah, I was pretty. I wasn't too happy with that. I thought that was a unforced error. And if we're gonna find coaches in the NFL $150,000 for having their face mask on their chin on national TV, but yet we're gonna show a guy who is known for being COVID positive on the sideline interacting with other people.
It's something, man. But yeah, I think we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, we don't want there to be another outbreak and for anybody's season to get shut down, but we got to at least keep that in mind. I mean, if Notre Dame gets a game canceled within the next week or two, we have to. I mean, we know what caused it. We know where the outbreak stems from.
Yeah. I mean, look at the 2 leagues, or actually the 3 leagues now. Look at the 3 leagues who successfully completed their seasons. What did all of them have in common? They were in bubbles. They had no contact. If someone tested positive, which in the NHL and NBA did not, if they tested positive, they were secluded from everybody else, okay?
Yeah.
In the one league that didn't do bubbles, what happened? Well, I don't know. The Cardinals had 2 weeks of their season shut down, and then they had to play double headers for a month. You had the Marlins who played like 3 games during the first 2.5 weeks of the year. Absolute shit show in the MLB until they got to the postseason, and then they got it right.
Yeah, when they had a bubble.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll have to see how that plays out.
And don't get me wrong, you can't do a bubble in college football. There's too many schools.
Yeah, like, it's impossible, but
you can't do that. But you can take a couple measures to help prevent contact or at the very least minimize it to help ensure that your season continues, okay? I mean, I saw something the other day. It was like North Carolina is going to lose like $20 million because of COVID not having fans. It's like, okay, well, you take one of these big school programs like Clemson in football, how much money do you think they're losing by not filling up their stadium? How much money do you think Michigan's losing by not being able to put 100,000 people in their stadium on Saturdays? Okay? I mean, you know how much money you make if you don't play the game?
None, yeah.
Like, it's not rocket science here, guys. Take a couple measures to make sure the game gets played. Make sure no one gets sick, okay? Because, I don't know. I could be on my soapbox all day on this. I'll get off of it, but Notre Dame, Clemson, that was someone dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, but that does lead into the next point of the NFL. They are talking about adding, if they have games get canceled throughout the rest of the season, they will add a playoff team in each conference. Opens the door for a lot of teams who could kind of sneak their way into the 8 seed and make a run. But I mean, I don't know, man. I guess before I talk about the NFL, I do want to go NBA real quick. Big news happened in the last 24 hours. Last night there were rumors that James Harden wanted out of Houston. Those were shut down by Russell Westbrook being said that he wants traded. He's requested a trade from Houston. A handful of other guys in Houston have come forward with some sort of concern. I know Eric Gordon was rumored to say that he didn't like his role. Danwell House didn't like his role.
PJ Tucker didn't like his role, which I can't blame the guy. He's 6'5", playing starting center in the NBA. And then today, Victor Oladipo, rumors come out from him and his sister that he wants out of Indiana. He's asked other players around the league if he could come join him. His sister didn't deny a rumor. She said something about somebody had commented on her post and said it's probably Miles Turner who's causing issues, and then she replied to that and didn't shut it down. And then Turner backfired on that and said, that's how it's going to be. Beef going on in Pacers Twitter. It looks very, very bad on their end.
How about this? Just, a little water cooler talk. How about a guy who's going to be a free agent this year? Why maybe not do a sign and trade? Fred VanVleet.
That's one that I've seen tossed around is maybe Oladipo and somebody that would fill the cap space. Probably TJ Leaf, because he's set to make like $4.5 million just to make the money work, and then get maybe throw in a draft pick as well and get VanVleet in return and try to work out a long-term deal with him. I mean, having him and Brogdon in the backcourt would be fun for Indiana, but I just don't know if I love that fit of having both of them, just because they're both very similar players in my eyes, and I don't like. I mean, last year we didn't even get to see Oladipo and Brogdon, but it didn't really work out for them. But I want Kelly Oubre. If they can get Oubre for Oladipo, let's do it. Just have some fun with it. But yeah, I mean, basketball is going to be fun. Draft night on Wednesday night should be exciting. A lot of stuff going down. Warriors still looking to trade. Timberwolves could look to trade pick. Spurs want to move. Everybody's kind of has their eyes on somebody, and
I've heard New York potentially going up to try to maybe get the 2 pick from Golden State, and it looks like right now, I've seen from a couple different sources that LaMelo is going number 1, and man, if for some reason they take Wiseman or Edwards at 1, and the Knicks take LaMelo Ball at 2, oh my!
Can LaMelo play power forward?
That's the one spot the Knicks need, man.
I know.
I'm surprised they haven't worked out Obi Toppin for the 8th time yet.
Dude, it'll happen. There's still plenty of time.
Man.
But yeah, that's about all I got on the NBA front. I just know it's going to be a hectic week. But real quick, before we hit our NFL picks this week, which, hey, everybody, don't even come at my throat. It's not been a good week, 2 weeks for me.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
But two big things to keep an eye on. The young quarterbacks this year have been phenomenal. I mean, last week alone we saw the matchup of Kyler and Tua. Those guys just dueled to the death, flung the ball all over the field. I think Dolphins ended up winning it at the end. Cardinals missed a 40-yard field goal with the wind at their back at a high elevation. Hey, cut that, dude. No, and he didn't even miss it. He was short. Just couldn't get it there. Hey, did you kick it with the wrong foot, buddy? Let's see. I mean, Burrow looks like a Rookie of the Year. Justin Herbert looks like Rookie of the Year. That's what makes that race fun. Tua, if the Dolphins go on a run and make the playoffs, you got to give them some credit. I mean, if they go 10-6, 9-7, make the playoffs, and Tua's the quarterback for the majority of that, he's got to be in the running for Rookie of the Year at least. Lamar Jackson and Mahomes are still doing their things. Young quarterbacks in good hands, and we get 2 to 4 more really good ones next year with the upcoming draft class. So, looks great. I mean, we always wondered what it was going to look like without Tom Brady, and hey, I think we're starting to get to that point because Monday night was not his night, or Sunday night, whichever night it was.
Yeah.
But then the MVP race in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is pretty high up there. He's had a good season.
Garbage.
Pat Mahomes, he's got 25 touchdowns and 1 interception, I think, maybe 2 interceptions.
Yeah. Chiefs
are still just a juggernaut. You're not stopping that offense unless you're. Oh, and I'll get to this in a second. Derek Carr. Russell Wilson, he might be falling back a little bit. He has, I think, 7 turnovers over his last 2 games. Seahawks haven't looked great, but he's still an MVP candidate. He better at least get a vote this year. And I'm not saying this as a homer. This is not. I've seen it.
Don't say it. I'll say it for you. Dalvin Cook, baby.
Yeah.
He is the only running back right now who should even get a first-place vote. As a matter of fact, I think that guy might end up winning MVP.
Yeah, if the Vikings make the playoffs, Dalvin Cook has to at least be top 2. I mean, the dude's put up. They changed their right guard 2 weeks ago. In those 2 games, Dalvin Cook has like 14,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. Okay,
Yeah.
now I wish that was an exaggeration. It's pretty accurate. I mean, he diced the Packers for like I think it was 220 total yards, 4 touchdowns. Comes back against Detroit, 2 touchdowns, 252 total yards. I mean, I've been here for like 850 yard mark rushing on the season. No other running backs over 5'8". I mean, they're pulling away. Cook's doing it in the passing game, the rushing game. They know he's getting the ball, and he's still beating them. Last week, he had a correct toss. I mean, before he even catches the ball, he jukes the guy out of his shoes and gets 37, a loss of 5. I mean, he's making everybody miss. If the Vikings win a handful more games, if they win 8 games, you've got to give Dalvin Cook some votes. But fuck.
So let's talk about, before we get into our picks, let's talk about Sunday night. Sunday night, I think.
Wait, no, hang on. Before that, there's one more player that I've seen has gotten a mid-season MVP vote, and that's Derek Carr. And if you don't know who gave him that vote, you might think, oh, whoever did that's a fucking moron. Well, that person that gave him the vote is David Carr. David Carr sat down and he looked at the numbers and he said, you know what? My brother has put up roughly 4,000 yards every single season of his career. Like exactly 4,000, maybe 4,100. And right now through 8 games, he's got 2,000 yards. And he's like, that's MVP quarterback. Are you out of your mind? I'm sorry he has an offensive line and you never got to witness that and experience it yourself. I'm sorry you were a draft buzz who's living on NFL Network just praising your brother who's been very subpar since his rookie season. And you think he's an MVP. He's not the best quarterback in his division. He's not even the second best quarterback in his division. I'd argue he's not the third best quarterback in his division. He's not the offensive MVP of his team. I would give it to probably half of his offensive line, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller. And it's no secret, no coincidence that he finally gets like 3 receivers this offseason, and holy shit, his numbers are a little bit better. Hey, maybe it's not Derek Carr for MVP. Let's pump the brakes, Dave. God. But yeah, back to your point about Sunday night. What a disaster.
Yeah, so if I recall correctly, you took Tampa Bay in that one winning outright. I took New Orleans winning outright. I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game. Well, it was from one team.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, I thought that with Antonio Brown coming back, it was going to be a lot like week 1. The offense was going to have difficulty figuring out their rhythm. Yeah, I thought, New Orleans was going to be very motivated, already having one win over them. If they can win the second, they basically own the tiebreaker for the division. Potentially, if we stay with a 14-team playoff, perhaps whoever gets the bye comes out of the NFC South. So I thought that game was very big for both teams. As a matter of fact, I said on last week's show, I think the winner of that division was going to be determined by that game. Holy shit. I mean, did Tampa Bay not realize that they were playing a game?
I mean, dude, listen, there's a handful of things that really pissed me off that game. And I don't want to come across as like I was rooting for Tampa Bay or whatever, because I know like Saints obviously played their asses off. They had a great game. Coaching on Tampa Bay's side was horrendous. Okay, how do you sit there and watch Drew Brees throw the ball for 3 yards an attempt all season, and you just rush forward and have single coverage? It doesn't make sense. You pressure the quarterback and you make him throw it down the field. They're just dropping back, give him everything underneath and all day to throw. Yeah, he's going to eat you alive. Taysom Hill, I'll say it, had a good game. But hey, if you're in my Twitter mentions...
Whoa. Can I check your temperature, sir?
Listen. I said good game.
Shit.
If you would have checked Twitter, you would have thought this guy already had a goddamn bust in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Oh, God, I really don't want to do this again.
Oh, come on.
I tweeted like a year and a half ago that because Taysom Hill caught a pass. Literally, he just jumped and caught a pass. And they're like, name another quarterback who could do that. And I named every single quarterback in the NFL who could do it. Oh, Ryan Tannehill, yeah, right. Hey, dumbass. He played wide receiver in college. He was a big-time receiving recruit in college, and he didn't go to, like, Ball State or Marion or some shit. He went to Texas A&M, okay? That's a pretty good school, if I recall correctly.
Let's go.
Joe Webb, he did it. He started quarterback in the playoffs. Next year was a wide receiver starting for the same exact team. Okay? This isn't slight to Taysom Hill. This is just me saying, hey, other guys have done it. Taysom Hill's not some innovator, right? The Saints just have a shitty offense. They have one good weapon in the passing game. Jared Cook can't be relied upon. I don't know who their number 4 receiver is. So, yeah, you're going to give the ball to your best probably athlete on your roster in any way possible, okay? So, when Taysom Hill has his inevitable one decent game a year, the same dickhead on Twitter has to come at me, quote tweet me, screenshot my shit, and then start running his mouth about, oh, yeah, Taysom Hill sucks. Listen, buddy, if you're tweeting me this shit once every 15 games, yeah, he does suck, okay? It's not like he's doing this every goddamn night. He's doing it once a year, best.
Let's go.
And listen, he threw I think 2 passes. The first one was a walk-in touchdown, and he was 3 yards behind the guy. The guy had to turn around and catch it and get tackled by the linebacker. He puts that thing anywhere close to where an NFL quarterback puts it. That's just a walk-in touchdown. So, yeah, let me get off my high horse a little bit, fucking idiot. Taysom Hill, whatever. He had his best game of his NFL career, and guess what? He wasn't the reason the Saints won that game. Now, Tempe's coaching staff, they shit the bed. That game really changed momentum when Jason Pierre-Paul's firework cost him a pick at the 10-yard line. I'm just saying, if he has all 10 fingers, that's a pick. It was right to him and he dropped it. That's just inexcusable. I don't care. I mean, I've seen guys with clubs on their hands pick that shit off, and he just dropped it. The Saints kind of kept momentum, and then, yeah, they shit the bed. Tampa Bay shit the bed. The Saints beat the brakes off of them. Tampa Tom looked bad.
Now let's, I don't want us to come off as Saints haters. I don't want us to think that we don't like New Orleans or, this ain't Notre Dame here, okay?
No. I mean, there's guys on the Saints that I like. Don't get me wrong.
New Orleans, they played a very smart football game, okay?
Yeah.
If there's one thing you can't take, of course, if you want to try to slight Drew Brees because he doesn't throw the deep ball, or if you want to slight Taysom Hill because he gets a little too much hype, that's fine. They played the exact game they had to play, okay? They went out there, they scored touchdown first possession of the game, 3 and out. They should have had a touchdown on the second drive of the game, but Cook fumbles it on the 2. Third, fourth, fifth drives of the game, they go down for touchdown. They did what they had to do to move the ball. They kept possession of the ball. Tom Brady sitting on the sideline just fuming. And then whenever Tom Brady goes onto the field, the defense just stifles them for 3 plays, and then Drew Brees is right back out there connecting. Very smart game, and a game that New Orleans had to win.
Yeah. And I think this does kind of relate back to the Notre Dame point. The Saints, the last 6 years, they've entered the season as the NFC favorite to make the Super Bowl. And then every time they win a big game, they do not shut up about it. And there's you can talk shit during the game. That's fine. That's part of it. But then after the game, you got Cameron Jordan running his mouth every week. Buddy, you disappear 9 weeks out of the season, okay? You get 4 sacks against the Falcons and you think you're a Pro Bowler. And he's a good player. He's a very good player. But there are Saints fans who I know who will discredit stats because a guy will do something in one game and it inflates everything. Cameron Jordan does the same thing. And the Saints, we're always the underdog. Nobody believes in us. You are the preseason favorite. You are 6-2. Nobody's doubting you, okay?
Yeah.
You have a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. You've got the second best running back in the NFL. You've got a damn good defense.
Yeah. A very smart head coach.
A smart head coach. I mean, except for the clapping in front of Minnesota's face in 2017. But, it just doesn't. Stop playing the underdog role if you're not the underdog. If you're the Falcons going on the road against the Chiefs, yeah, play that card. But you're the Saints. If you want the credit of being a Super Bowl favorite, you've got to win. You got to win the playoffs. First of all, that's a huge issue. Second, you got to just stop acting like you deserve something for winning. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the Vikings beat you, and you're saying, oh, well, it's okay. The Vikings lose next week. We got a seat on the couch at home for you. You still lost to that team. If you're saying they're dog shit, hey, buddy, you're saying you're also at least dog shit. Like, it baffles me. Like, the Saints and the Saints fans, there's like 2 Saints fans I know that are very level-headed. Some of them, man, they just run their mouths a lot. And it is very obnoxious. And, like, I've had better experiences with the Eagles fans, and they have a very, very notable reputation.
Hey, let's us Eagles fans, we have integrity.
I mean, some, I guess, but Saints fans are something, man. They are a trip. But yeah, that leads me. I mean, I guess that'll lead us into our picks this week.
How did we do last week?
Not great, Bob. Not great. So, last week Keenan went 6-0 on the money line, 4-2 on the spread, hit his lock.
That's a good
on
week.
the season. 37-17 money line, 25-28-1 on the spread, and 6-2-1 on his locks. He made up some ground. He also passed me in a lot of these. Let's see. Money line for me, 36-18 on the year. Went 4-2 last week. Serviceable. Second week in a row, though, however, shit the bed. 0-6 against the spread. Shout out to every team I picked lately. They have been awful. 26-28 overall. I got you by a half a game there. And I missed my lock yet again, so thanks, Pittsburgh. I didn't think Dallas with Garrett Gilbert at the helm was going to be able to knock you off your feet. I'm 3-6 on my locks. Horrible stretch for me, but hey, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish, right?
It's true.
Thursday night football tonight. Colts at Titans. You got very lucky the way you at the time you place your bets. I got to stop picking my bets on like Tuesday night when I'm bored and have nothing else to do.
Yeah, that keeps biting you in the ass, buddy. For those of you who don't know or haven't been following along, I make my picks at about noon Central Time. Well, actually, usually it's a little bit before, since we usually do this about 10 on Thursdays. I usually do this Thursday mornings. I usually make my picks. Today, I got Tennessee plus 1.5 at home against Indianapolis on Thursday night. This is my lock of the week. Tennessee plus 1.5. I have them winning outright 27-20, under 48.5. I think Tennessee... I think we're going to get a very strong dose of Derrick Henry tonight. I think they're going to be running the ball very often. I think they're going to chew up a lot of clock. I think Indianapolis, I think you're going to see maybe the first couple possessions, they're going to try to get Jonathan Taylor and who's their other running back? Blanking on his name.
Wilkins?
Nyheim
Hines, yeah.
Nyheim Hines. I think they're going to try to get them involved in the first couple drives. But I think if Tennessee can get out to about a 10-0 lead, they're going to force Phillip Rivers to start throwing the ball. And Phillip Rivers is good for about 1 to 2 interceptions per game. I think Tennessee, they're going to be able to play their game. I think they're going to get out running early. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a strong game. 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 27-20. Tennessee, lock it in, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I got the line at Tennessee -2, and I'm still taking it. I'm not super confident, but I got them winning 24-20. Okay. But, I mean, Tennessee, this is a very opportune time for them. It's a divisional game on a Thursday night football at home. Sucks for the Colts, but they've benefited from that in the past, I believe. I hate Thursday night football in general. I really hate divisional games on Thursday nights. Especially, I mean, the Colts are coming off a game against Baltimore, and that's not an easy team to turn around from, right? Baltimore's going to pound the rock against you. Their defense is going to make you suffer, and we saw. I mean, the Ravens they gave them 10 points, ran the ball down their throat. This is not good for the Colts. It's not a good time to bounce back. I don't trust T.Y. Hilton ever. I've never once been like, God, that's my guy. He is too unreliable, especially this year. Supporting cast on offense isn't great. Jonathan Taylor fumbled last week. That's been a big issue for him. All the way through his career at Wisconsin he fumbles too much. If Tennessee can just run the ball, I know the Colts defense has been up and down. They've been mostly up. Still don't like him a whole lot, especially against Derrick Henry. I mean, that he's like me in a football uniform, you know? So, obviously, it's not going to be an easy task. I think Tennessee's just going to be too much to handle. I think they're going to – Tannehill's not going to be asked to do a whole lot. I mean, he's obviously, Taysom Hill. So, run the ball, throw it when you need to, let A.J. Brown and Johnny Smith kind of work for you underneath. But other than that, it's going to be all Derrick Henry. And I think they can kind of control the clock that way. So, I think we agree on that one.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get a win this week. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I hope not.
Let's go to one that I think that we have different. Monday Night Football, Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota, as of this morning, was minus 3-point favorites. How do you got this one going?
I took Minnesota at minus 2.5. I can't remember who it was against, but the Bears this year in 2 games against zone run offenses, they have not been good at stopping the run. Minnesota, a zone run rushing offense. Last 2 weeks, they've been pretty damn good at running that football. Dalvin Cook's going to keep cooking. He's going to keep doing his thing in the kitchen. Kirk Cousins didn't have to do anything. Vikings defense has come a long way since week 1. I mean, they're playing rookie corners. They're playing guys off of the Raiders practice squad, the Lions practice squad, guys fresh off the street. Sign them on Thursday, start them on Sunday, and they're getting production. They're not getting torched out of the air like I expected them to. Linebacking course played really well. Man, their offense, I mean, if you can just get Justin Jefferson a couple looks down the field and then just let Dalvin Cook do his thing. Adam Thielen's fallen completely out of the offense, but I think it's because defenses have to respect him. Bears offense sucks, okay? I'm sorry, Chicago. Your offense sucks. It's bad. I don't care if it's Nick Foles or Mitch Trubisky or hell, even Kyle Sloter could start for you Monday night, who has experience against the Vikings. Your offense is going to be putrid. If your defense can't get like 3 stops, you're out of here. Vikings, what's my score? Vikings 20-14, absolute barn burner. Vikings by 2.5 on the road. They don't do well on the road, especially in Chicago, but let's give it to them.
So this one was difficult for me because, like you, I really like Minnesota right now. They're running the ball a little bit more effectively. They're looking better than what they did throughout the first 6 weeks of the season. But there's one thing I saw that I just could not ignore. Kirk Cousins 0-9 on Monday Night Football.
You can't win the first one if you don't win before that. Well, yeah, you can't. I don't know what I'm saying.
The guy is bad. It's not like it's a fluke. If, like, 1 time it's a fluke, 2 times is a coincidence. 9
I will
times
say, though,
suck on Monday night.
I want to say his defenses have been horrible. I mean, he was with Washington for most of those. Defense was pretty bad. And his rushing attack has gotten like 3 yards a carry in Monday Night Football games in his career. Doesn't do a whole lot for him. I mean, obviously he should have won some of those, but...
Well, the fact is he didn't, okay? And granted, Chicago might be his best chance to get his first win on Monday night. But Chicago, I don't know. I think that they win this one. I think they win this one outright.
I wouldn't be
surprised. Chicago +3, 29-17, hitting the over, surprisingly, of 43.5. I think that I think this game's going to be a very tough one to watch, but I think it's hard to bet for a guy who has never won on Monday night in 9 tries, okay? And Chicago is bad. I mean, they are terrible. Bowling shoe ugly, okay? But I think they find a way to beat Minnesota. The fact that Minnesota is only 3-point favorites in this game should tell you how bad Minnesota is outside of Dalvin Cook. Give me Chicago. Tell your bookie to keep the points, 29-17.
Oh, you got the Bears scoring 29 points? They haven't scored 29 points in like 4 weeks. Come on.
I know. But it's Monday night, and Monday night changes things.
No, it doesn't. I'm very confident now that you spoke your stupid little words that the Vikings are going to just steamroll them. Hey, Kirk, it's your time, baby. Get that first dub. You got to get your first win somewhere.
So another game that we have in common: Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens on the road against the New England Patriots. Baltimore, as of this morning, -7-point favorites.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
I mean, just watching the Patriots absolutely struggle to beat the Jets, which is a horrible sentence to ever have to say. Yeah, I mean, I've got the Ravens -7.5, 34-24. I don't care if it's on the road. I mean, Cam Newton finally looked decent again last week, but hey, dude, the Ravens are legit still. Their defense is going to force turnovers, and the Patriots have not been the most they haven't taken the greatest care of the ball this year.
Yeah.
Baltimore's going to be able to run the ball, but I mean the deep shots are there. We saw that. I mean, Brashad Perriman torched the Patriots on Monday night. I think Hollywood can do the same thing. I think Mark Andrews can eat across the middle. Should be a no-brainer. I'm probably going to be wrong, and I believe I made this switch right before we recorded this puppy. This is my lock of the week. I didn't want to do it, but I couldn't go with the first team I had in mind. I'm still picking the other team, which I'll get to, but yeah, Baltimore give them 7.5 and just beat the brakes out of New England.
Yeah, so this makes me a little nervous making my pick because I also have Baltimore -7. The last time Baltimore played on primetime, if I recall correctly, last night game they played was Kansas City. And Kansas City, that was as one-sided as a Monday night game gets. Between two teams that are that good. I think this could be a statement game for Lamar Jackson if he wants to try to defend his MVP this season. I think this is a game where he needs to perform. I think this is a game where they can really get back on track. They stumbled against Pittsburgh. I don't know if they played last week. Did they play on Sunday?
Pittsburgh?
I know they did. No, Baltimore.
Oh yeah, they played Indy.
Oh, that's right. And no, I think this is a good chance to get back in the solid win column. I've got them winning this one 45-24 over 43.5. I think Baltimore just comes out here and it's going to be as one-sided as last week on Sunday night. Baltimore -7, 45-24.
Man, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong for thinking it could be a blowout. 45 points is a lot. Now, granted, Baltimore did put up 45 last year against Los Angeles on the road in Los Angeles, so that could be a theme. But, yeah, they're an absolute – I mean, if Baltimore gets hot at the right time, they're definitely a Super Bowl candidate. I mean, obviously, Kansas City's going to be a tough one, but Baltimore's good, man. One of the best secondaries in football. They got Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins. Receiving core blows, but they got Des Bryant now. Everybody knew in 2020 with Des Bryant.
I believe we have one more game in common that we picked this week.
I believe so.
You picked the Seattle game, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Seattle playing the Los Angeles Rams. I got this one, Seattle +1.5. If you tell me Seattle's getting points and it's going to be against any team not named Kansas City, Baltimore, or maybe Pittsburgh, run me my money. Seattle -1.5, 33-30. I have this one hitting the over of 54.5. Seattle, their defense isn't good, right? Like 34 or whatever it was to the Patriots. I mean, Russell Wilson's had to play out of his mind this year to win these games. They stumbled against the Cardinals a couple weeks ago on Sunday night. I think they just lost again, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
But I think they get back in the win column this week. Los Angeles isn't good. They're not good. I think they got a little too much hype. Granted, they would make the playoffs right now if the season ended today. That doesn't mean much to me. Seattle's a far better football team. They're going to cover. They're going to win outright. Give me Seattle.
Yeah, I think the Rams team to watch because they've got a brutal schedule to end their season. I want to say in their last 8 games, they played It's like 5 games against the NFC West.
And I'm glad you bring that up. The Rams, the only reason they're above 500 is because they've beaten all 4 teams in the NFC East. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not saying much.
And I think the Rams, they do have good pieces. Their offense can be very explosive. It's just hit or miss with them.
Yep.
Seattle was going to be my lock, but whenever I pick Seattle, they kind of shit the bed on me. They were my lock last week, going into Buffalo, who hasn't been great lately. I thought Buffalo was pretenders. I still do. And Seattle couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Yep.
And it was tunnel screens and just they made Josh Allen look like Aaron Rodgers in 2014 or something. Brutal game from Seattle. They've got to get back on track. They got 1.5 points. DK Metcalf, dude, who's gonna stop them? Who?
Yeah.
Who? I'm not an
Yeah.
out. Give me Seattle 1.5. I think I've got it 30-27 Seattle. It's close, but I think it's more of a backdoor kind of from Los Angeles that gives them a shot. But man,
Well,
Rams,
I'd say it's not backdoor if they win outright. That's
yeah, the Rams try to make it competitive, but
I respect it.
man, don't trust that one at all.
All right, your 5th game of the week. This one we do not have the same. Which one do you got?
Let me find it.
Well, while you're trying to find it, let me give you my 5th game of the week. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay didn't score a touchdown last week. As a matter of fact, Tampa Bay arguably should have been shut out. Their worst performance of the season. Maybe another week of practice getting Antonio Brown in the offense. Maybe they look a little bit better. They have a lot of questions they need to answer and fast. They keep going on this roller coaster up, down. One week they're Super Bowl favorites. Next week, hey, they're pretending. This week they're playing Carolina. Carolina, they lost a Thursday night game last weekend to the Falcons, I believe.
Yep.
And that was a big hit for their playoff chances. Christian McCaffrey's out this week. Or actually, no, they didn't play. Carolina played on Sunday. My bad. I don't know who they played. Either way, it doesn't matter. Carolina's not going to have McCaffrey this week. Tampa Bay, they're going to be out for blood. They're going to be looking for revenge. Tampa Bay -6, 34-20. Give me the over 50.5. Yeah, don't write it in stone, but we've been looking pretty good the last couple weeks, and I expect we win that one as well.
I know why Tampa Bay is nervous. Like they looked ahead at their schedule and they're like, oh shit, we got Minnesota in week 13. And they're kind of quivering in their boots a little bit. Don't worry, Tom. We'll save our best for you. My 5th game, I'm going Miami at home, 2.5-point favorites against the Chargers. The Chargers are just a team who they're really close, and they just can't pull it off. Last week, had a chance to win it on the last play of the game, would have finally hit one of my picks. Mike Williams goes up, comes down injured, doesn't hang on to the ball. Tough play. And then you've got, I don't know, the second best route running receiver in the NFL in Keenan Allen, and you're out here calling up a end zone fade last play of the game, do or die, throwing it to a goddamn rookie tight end with 2 career catches. Fireable offense. But Justin Herbert's the real deal. They might be losing every game with him at starter or at quarterback, but it's not his fault. Holy shit, his defense sucks. His playmakers can't stay healthy, which has always been the issue. Keenan Allen can't stay healthy. Mike Williams is always hurt. Eckler's out right now. I believe they lost a tight end last week or the week before. They just got to get healthy, but Miami's looks really good. I've got them winning and covering. Only issue is right now they've got Kyle Van Noy and Christian Wilkins on the COVID list heading into the weekend. So if those guys don't play, that changes things drastically. Those are probably your 2 biggest impact players on defense. So we'll see what happens. Miami just looks really good. Tua looks comfortable. Run game's getting a little bit better. I still think they need to go with a running back next year in the draft, but I like what Miami's doing big time.
I like it. My 6th and final game this week, we're going out to the NFC East. Homer pick. Philadelphia -3.5-point favorites against New York. If you recall correctly, earlier this year on Thursday night, Philadelphia won on the last possession against New York on Thursday night. New York, I've said it before, they arguably should be leading this division. They've had some bad. They looked good last week against Washington. To be fair, though, everyone except Philadelphia in the second half of their game has looked good against Washington. I've got Philadelphia winning this one 24-18. This is going to be a classic Carson Wentz performance. He's going to turn the ball over in the first half. It's going to be like 9-3. And then in the second half, he'll come alive on the final possession, throw a touchdown, and we'll all be saying, let's go, Carson Wentz. Let's go. This goes under 42.5.
Yeah, it's going under for sure. God, that game's gonna suck. I'm so glad I have a new TV to not watch that on. Yeah, my sixth game, I'm going with Green Bay, 14-point favorites against Jacksonville, who is dog shit. They started Jake Luton last week. Really liked him coming out. Still don't like Jacksonville. I mean, goddamn, can anybody in the receiving corps stay healthy for more than 2 quarters? Can their defense stop, I don't know, a high school football team? I would doubt it. Yeah, I think Green Bay's just going to get up early, get up 28-0, 31-0 before the half, and just coast their way to a big win. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP because he's played nobody. And then, yeah, we'll probably go from there. But I got to find my score. I always forget that.
I can't believe you classified Jacksonville as dog shit. That is crazy.
No, I got Green Bay 34-17. 2 late scores from Jacksonville in the fourth quarter when nobody's even watching the game anymore. The fans have emptied the already empty stadium. I mean, geez, dude. Jacksonville last week was fun at least because they had a new quarterback, but I think everybody's already over the Luton experiment just because it's not fresh anymore. I mean, I still like the guy. I think he's good, but hey, Gardner Minshew, you're out of town. Man, that game's gonna suck too. What a good week of football, you know? No college football on the TV. NFL slate's absolutely putrid. Vikings don't play on Monday night. I guess I got nothing to do Sunday.
Masters, baby.
Nah, I'd rather watch football. So, I thought that I had something else. I mean, I am excited for draft season. If you guys on the YouTube channel don't know, we picked up some subs this week. I posted hopefully each week or maybe every other week, depending on how scheduling goes. I'm going to do a new mock draft here on the YouTube channel. I'll tweet it out too, probably. Using the Draft Network's mock draft machine, whatever, and give my thoughts on where teams stand and stuff like that, and maybe who they might be targeting, which players are rising and falling, which teams might be better fits. First video got 700 and I want to say like 50 views or something like that in the first few days, so obviously people like it, dude. I'm a hero. What can I say? I'm gonna try to keep that going. We've got people working on our on the bathroom right above me, so I have to find a very specific time of the day when I can record without it being an absolute nightmare situation on my ears. So keep that in the pocket from moving forward. Hopefully those are fun because, I mean, I got nothing else to do with my time. I'm a free man now, no longer a student. Absolutely disaster. Maxion, Ball State. Thanks last night, dude. You've screwed me out of more money this week than I don't think any other organization has ever done in their lifetime. I'm $60,000 in loans in Ball State that are costing me more than that in a week. Football this week sucks. NBA draft, I don't really have anything to talk about because I didn't watch any college basketball last season because guess what? There was no good college basketball last season. Right when things get good, tournament gets shut down. Thanks, COVID. What, you now can't prepare for the NBA draft like you wanted to? Ah, wow, real considerate. How dare a pandemic do that to me? So, I mean, I'll probably bitch about whoever the Pacers draft because they have about 9 options since they're picking 54th in the draft. About maybe one good player on the board, and they won't take him. We already know how that situation unfolds. Victor Oladipo, out of town. See you later. He ain't coming back. Give me Kelly Oubre. Give me Fred VanVleet. Give me... Shit, I don't know. Give me PS5's out. I'll be playing some PS5 all night because, you know, that's how I roll. I'm going to spin big. I'm going to play big, you know. Baseball, real quick. Congrats, Tyler Bauer.
Tyler. Trevor Bauer, future Chicago Cub. Cubs in 2021 are going to have the number 1 and number 2 Cy Young pitchers in the National League with him and Yu Darvish. Kudos to him. Jacob deGrom had probably the best season ever for a guy who didn't finish top 2 in Cy Young. DJ LeMahieu, he ain't coming back to New York. The Yankees suck, dude. Yankees ain't even making the playoffs in the next decade.
Is he really not coming back to New York?
I don't know. I don't think I think it's because of money and stuff like that. It's going to be very tough for any good team to get him. Because if they went over the tax last year, they're going to have to pay over to get him, and they're already losing money on everything. It's a whole mess.
I get, if there's one player on the Yankees they need to pay right now, it's LeMahieu. Because LeMahieu is, the only consistent player on that team last year. The only guy who can bat for average.
Why would a good player like that continue to take money from a poverty dog shit organization when he knows he has no chance to win? What are you going to have? He could have the Pittsburgh Pirates on out their entire $18 million salary cap at him. They don't even have a salary cap. They're not here spending nothing. Yeah, dude, go to the Pirates. Go back to the Rockies or the Cubs. He's been with the Cubs before. Come back, little redemption tour. Cubs are going to have him and Colton Wong in the building next year. That'd be so good, dude.
You're killing me, man.
Dude, I'm just saying, I would have a beard, dude.
Yeah, that would suck, wouldn't it?
Yeah, dude, what a simp. No, I'm not going to have a beard so I can play for the 9th best team in baseball. It's not even the best team in his division, and he's shaving his whole face for it. That's just disrespectful.
Oh, it hurts because it's true.
They're going to be like the Red Sox going to get Linder. Boom, they're better than the Yankees just
All
because
right,
of that.
You know what? We got a couple minutes left here on the podcast. Let's talk about this. AJ Hinch and Alex Cora. I'm pissed. I hate it. The fact that they're allowed to come back into the season for what essentially amounts to a 2-month suspension for cheating to win a World Series. Rob Manfred should be fired. Those two should never be allowed to grace the game of baseball again. The fact the Red Sox brought back Alex Cora says a lot
they fired him and then just rehired him. And listen,
a lot of integrity there in Boston.
The report I saw was that their managerial opening was down to 2 candidates, right? It was Alex Cora and Sam Fuld. Now, not a big name, Sam Fuld. If you guys don't know, you probably don't. He was just like a utility outfield guy for a decade in the majors. Played for the Cubs, the Rays, the A's, I believe, and a couple others. Really good guy. Not to brag, but I've met him a few times, thanks to him having a diabetes. Him and Caleb had some sort of a relationship. Not like a relationship, you know what I mean. But yeah, Sam's a great guy. It would have been great for him to have that, to get that job, but I would have never in a million years guessed that he was in the running or even wanted a job like that. But he didn't get it because the Red Sox are idiots. We're gonna fire Alex Cora, tank the season, get him, and this is what the Red Sox just traded Mookie Betts.
Yep.
For nothing.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they say, "Oh, we want Francisco Lindor, so you'll pay him."
But not Mookie Betts.
And you already have a good shortstop.
Yeah.
They got Xander Bogaerts. He's not bad, okay?
He's pretty good.
Just keep Mookie Betts at that point, because Lindor at a premium position, going into a big contract
at that point.
Yeah, what are we doing? Hey, Boston, come on! I'm walking in. It's stupid, man.
Yeah.
I don't know where Lindor's going to go. The Indians are saying they're strapped for cash. How, dude? You've traded all your good players. You don't have any starting pitching. We've got Bieber. You got Lindor and Carlos Santana. Hey, maybe Santana should be the one that goes. He's 31. hasn't produced in like 4 years. Maybe keep that really good young shortstop you got. You fucking idiots. But the Dodgers will probably get Lindor, have him and Seager split some time next year. Probably one of them will DH, one of them will play it short, and then oh man, now they got to let Seager walk 'cause they got to pay all this money to Lindor, and oh man, look at that, they still got a good shortstop, and they didn't have to pay Kyle Seager a bunch of money off of one good season. Oh, I love baseball.
Yep.
Dodgers are going to be 2021 World Series champs. We already know it. It's already in the bag. Cubs will be they're going to lose Game 7 like 1-0 after a dominant performance from Trevor Bauer, but I mean, other than that, shouts out baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That's about all I got this week, man.
Yeah, I mean, I got that's all I got. Try to calm my fumes down a little bit, but what a week, man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hopefully, I win a goddamn bet this week too. But yeah, go watch the Colts lose tonight. It makes everybody happy. And then yeah, we'll be back next week. I'll make some more bad picks. You can take my gambling advice and go the exact opposite way.
We still haven't figured out what we're gonna do yet for the winner of this.
I'm starting to think we shouldn't do anything.
We'll have an answer for you next week on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Sounds like a plan to me, brother.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We will catch you later. I don't look forward to any football anymore, so thanks for ruining that for me, gambling mind. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Obviously, it'll be a great show because it's what I do. It's what we do. It's
I
how
appreciate
we roll
that.
around. I just got to give myself confidence because I got no other reason to be. But yeah, stay tuned. Keep an eye out for them new videos on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And
hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe
Stop
button.
wasting our
Be
fucking
part of it.
time.
Be
Hit that subscribe button.
part of that exclusive 18-member community.
Hit
All right.
the bell.
Ding that bell. Get alert notifications.
Yeah. ATL, baby, we back. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Except for, I mean, fantasy-wise, Keenan's not doing great. But hey, that's for next time. All right. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got. Your boy's got to go to the bathroom. But yeah, peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed as usual, and we'll catch you hopefully next Thursday.
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir.